Most people think fake friends get exposed when they start acting rude. Wrong. They usually get exposed when your life starts working. When you were stuck, they feel relaxed. When you were lost, they feel safe. But the second you get happier, sharper, calmer, or more successful, they start moving weird. Now the energy changes. Now the jokes feel sharper. Now the support feels forced. Now the silence feels louder. Most people tell you to stay humble, to keep everyone around, to not read into it. That is not how this works. What you are seeing is not random. It is not in your head. It is a hidden reaction to your growth. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 reasons fake friends get weird when your life starts working. And by the end, you will know exactly what their behavior really means, how to respond without drama, and how to protect your peace without explaining yourself. Stay until the end, because number 5 is the one that changes how you see every fake friendship you ever had. I used to think success would make my circle stronger. I thought if my life improved, the right people would naturally be happy for me. Then my life actually started changing. I got clearer. I got healthier. I got more focused. And that is when I noticed something painful. Some people only liked the version of me that was easier to stand above. Once I saw that, everything changed. I stopped confusing access with loyalty. I stopped begging for normal behavior from toxic people. And I started paying attention to what success reveals. So today I'm breaking this down for you. Reason 1. You break their ranking system. The first reason is simple. Your progress breaks their ranking system. Fake friends do not build friendship on love. They build it on position. They need to feel a little higher than you, a little wiser than you, a little more in control than you. Most people miss this. They think the friendship was real because it lasted a long time. But here's what is really happening. As long as you stayed small, their ego stayed comfortable. Picture this. You finally get your routine together. You start making better money. You stop chasing people. You start carrying yourself with quiet respect. And suddenly your friend gets strange. They do not say congratulations with real energy. They say things like, must be nice, or do not change on me now. That sounds harmless. It is not. Here is what is really happening in their head. Your growth is threatening the role they gave you. They needed you as the messy one, the needy one, the one still figuring life out, because that role made them feel solid. So what do you say? Simple. Say exactly, I am allowed to grow. That is it. No defense, no long speech, just those words. That line matters because it shuts down the unspoken rule that you're supposed to stay the same just to keep them comfortable. But wait until you hear the next one. Reason 2. Your peace exposes their chaos. The second reason is deeper. Your peace exposes their chaos. This is why fake friends get weird when your life starts working, even if you are not richer, louder, or more visible. Sometimes all you did was become calm. You stopped overreacting. You stopped oversharing. You stopped chasing confusion. And now they do not know how to deal with you. Picture this. You are at dinner, or on a group call, or standing in a parking lot after some event. Before, you used to react fast. You used to explain yourself. You used to jump into every emotional trap. Now you do not. They throw a little jab. You smile lightly. They test you with a shady comment. You stay blank. They bring drama. You give them nothing. And here's the crazy part. Your silence annoys them more than any argument ever did. Here's what is really happening in their head. People who live in internal chaos feel exposed by someone who has peace. Your calm becomes a mirror. It shows them how loud, unstable, and needy they really are. That is why your peace feels offensive to them. This is what I call the smoke alarm effect. You are not attacking them. You are just stable. But your stability sets off every alarm in a manipulator who survives on emotional noise. So what do you say? Simple. Say exactly, I am not doing this. That is it. Short, flat, clean, or do this instead. Say nothing, keep your face blank. Count to 3 in your head. 1, 2, 3, then move on. Silence is a weapon when the other person is hungry for a reaction. And here is where it gets interesting. Reason 3, they lose access to the old you. The third reason is personal. They lose access to the old you. This one hit me hard because I had to admit something. Some people were not attached to me. They were attached to how easy I was to use. I used to answer every call, fix every problem, listen to every meltdown, show up for every crisis. I was always available, always understanding, always giving second chances. Then my life started working. Not because I became perfect, but because I got tired. Tired of carrying people who never carried me. tired of pouring into people who only showed up when they needed something. So I pulled back. I stopped replying instantly. I stopped rescuing adults from the consequences of their own choices. I stopped being everybody's emotional emergency room, and that is when the weirdness started. Picture this. A friend texts you late at night, same old crisis, same old mess, same old expectation that you will drop your piece to save theirs. But this time, you do not jump. You answer the next day, short reply. No deep dive, no emotional labor, no free therapy, and suddenly they act hurt, cold, passive-aggressive. Now you are the problem. Here is what is really happening in their head. They do not miss you. They miss access. They miss control. They miss the old version of you that had no boundaries. And here is the crazy part. The healthier you get, the more toxic people will call you distant. Why? Because your boundary feels like rejection to someone who benefited from your lack of one. So what do you say? Simple. Say exactly, that does not work for me anymore. That is it. No guilt, no apology, no explaining your healing to people who profited from your pain. Sounds familiar? Because it is. Reason 4, your win activates their insecurity. The fourth reason is brutal. Your win activates their insecurity. Fake friends do not always hate you. Sometimes they hate what your success makes them feel. That is why they get weird even when you never bragged, even when you stayed humble, even when you tried to include them. Picture this. You get a promotion, you launch something, you meet a good partner, you finally start looking healthy and focused. You share the news, and they smile. But the smile feels tight, the questions feel strange, the support feels thin. Then the little comments start. You got lucky. Let us see how long that lasts. Do not get too confident. You think you are better now? That is not harmless teasing. That is jealousy leaking out sideways. Here is what is really happening in their head. Your win pulls their insecurity to the surface. It reminds them of what they delayed, what they abandoned, what they never had the courage to build. You become proof that change is possible. And we people hate proof when it exposes their excuses. This is emotional sabotage, not a punch, not a scream, just little cuts, little doubts, little debts, little drops of poison. So what do you say? Simple. Say exactly, you do not have to like it. That is it. That line is powerful because it removes the fake negotiation. You are not asking for approval. You are informing them that your life will keep moving either way. Boom. Reason 5. Your growth reveals they were never really with you. The fifth reason is the deepest one. Your growth reveals they were never really with you in the first place. This is the hardest truth because it changes the whole story. You thought they were acting weird because your life changed. But sometimes your life did not create the problem. It revealed it. Fake friends can stay close for years when your life is foggy, when you are distracted, when you are doubting yourself, when you are too busy surviving to notice patterns. But once your life starts working, clarity enters the room. Now you notice who only calls when they need something. Now you notice who disappears when you shine. Now you notice who disappears when you shine. Now you notice who studies your weak spots. Now you notice who gets warm when you struggle and cold when you rise. Picture this. You look back over the friendship, and suddenly old moments start making sense. That weird joke after your first big win, that strange silence when you got good news, that secret pleasure they had when your relationship fell apart, that energy shift every time you got stronger. It was all there. You were just too loyal to name it. Here is what is really happening in their head. They were never standing beside you. They were standing near you, watching, comparing, waiting. That is the invisible trap. A fake friend does not always want your spot. Sometimes they just do not want you to outgrow the version of yourself that made them feel safe. So what do you say? Simple. Say exactly, you do not get this version of me. That is it. Cold, clear, final. And then back it up with action. Less access, less information, less availability, less emotional openness. Because the strongest boundary is not a speech. It is a door that quietly stops opening. But that is nothing compared to what happens when you finally stop calling their weirdness friendship. Here's what nobody tells you about fake friends. They do not always reveal themselves when your life falls apart. They reveal themselves when your life starts working. Why? Because your growth removes the cover. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your success exposes their insecurity. Your boundaries expose their entitlement. And that means something important. Their weird behavior says more about them than it ever says about you. It does not mean you are arrogant. It does not mean you change for the worse. It does not mean you need to shrink yourself to keep old connections alive. It means your life is finally getting too healthy for toxic dynamics to hide inside it. And here is the plot twist. That is a good thing, because the moment fake support starts falling away, real self-respect starts taking its place. You stop begging to be understood. You stop chasing people who only loved your weaker seasons. You stop trying to carry friendships that were really just emotional contracts. You're not losing your people, you are losing your distractions. The moment your life starts working, let the wrong people get uncomfortable. That discomfort is proof you are no longer easy to control. Pick one of these 5 reasons, just one. Try it this week. Then come back and tell me in the comments, which one are you seeing in your life right now? And if this helped you see something clearly, hit that subscribe button. One click. That is all I am asking. And at the end of next week's video, I will be giving a shout out to one subscriber. Could be you. Stop waiting for permission to be respected. You already deserve it.